Your phone is basically sleeping next to your brain every night like a tiny needy roommate who never shuts up. And honestly, that roommate might be quietly wrecking your sleep, your skin, and possibly your patience with life itself. Let's start with the obvious offender, light. Your phone screen blasts blue light directly into your eyeballs from a distance of 10 centimeters, which is basically kissing distance for photons. Your brain sees that blue light and goes, "Oh great, it's daytime," even though it's 1 in the morning, and you're lying in the dark like a vampire who forgot to close the coffin. This tricks your body into suppressing melatonin, the hormone that's supposed to gently tuck you into sleep like a warm blanket, except now the blanket left the chat. So you lie there, wide awake, scrolling, wondering why you're not tired, completely unaware that you're the one who told your brain it's noon. Now let's talk radiation, because this is where people either panic or roll their eyes. And honestly, both reactions are a little bit correct. Phones emit radio frequency electromagnetic radiation, which sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie where the hero grows a third arm, but in reality it's non-ionizing radiation, meaning it doesn't have the energy to rip apart your DNA like ionizing radiation does, think X-rays or nuclear reactors. However, the World Health Organization has classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as possibly carcinogenic to humans, which is a very science way of saying we're not totally sure, so let's not put it right next to your head for 8 hours a night, just in case. Studies on this are honestly still mixed. Some show no real link to health issues, others suggest caution, and scientists are still arguing about it like it's a group chat that never resolves. So no, your phone probably isn't secretly cooking your brain like a microwave burrito, but probably not isn't exactly the confidence boost you want when the alternative is just moving your phone 2 feet away. And speaking of things randomly catching fire, let's talk about the actual real, documented, no exaggeration danger, phone batteries overheating under pillows. Lithium-ion batteries, the things powering basically every phone on Earth, generate heat, and when you shove your phone under a pillow or a blanket, that heat has nowhere to escape. It's like wrapping a candle in a blanket and hoping for the best. There have been real, reported cases of phones overheating, swelling, and even catching fire while tucked under someone's pillow at night, which is possibly the worst way to wake up, worse than an alarm, worse than your cat sitting on your face, worse than realizing you're late for work. Insulation plus heat, plus a battery that's basically a tiny chemical reaction waiting to happen, equals a fire risk that's small in probability but absolutely not zero. And not zero is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence when we're talking about your face being nearby. Now let's get into the psychological chaos your phone causes, because honestly, this might be worse than the physical stuff. Having your phone right next to your head means every notification, every buzz, every tiny red bubble is basically whispering into your ear like a tiny gremlin saying, "Check me, check me, check me." Your brain, which evolved to react to threats and opportunities, treats that notification like a mini emergency. Cortisol spikes. Your heart rate ticks up slightly. And congratulations, you just triggered a stress response over someone liking your meme about ducks wearing hats. This constant low-level alertness, this readiness to respond, keeps your nervous system in a state that's the opposite of relaxed, which is exactly what you need for deep, restorative sleep. It's like trying to fall asleep next to a smoke detector that occasionally beeps for no reason, except you also willingly chose to keep it there. There's also something called phantom vibration syndrome, which sounds made up but is a genuinely studied phenomenon where people feel their phone vibrating even when it isn't. Your brain becomes so hyper-attuned to that sensation that it starts hallucinating it. Like a Pavlovian dog, except instead of drooling at a bell, you're reflexively checking a screen that never buzzed in the first place. That's how deeply your nervous system has been rewired to treat your phone as an extension of your own body, lying right there next to your skull, like a very clingy metal pillow. And let's not forget the endless scroll trap, because phones next to your head at night basically guarantee just 5 more minutes turns into 45 minutes of watching videos of strangers organizing their fridges. Doom scrolling, as it's affectionately called, keeps your brain engaged, alert, and stimulated exactly when it should be winding down. You're feeding your brain new information, new stimulation, new dopamine hits, right as it's supposed to be entering its offline maintenance mode. It's like trying to shut down a computer while 10 new tabs keep opening automatically. Your brain never actually gets the, "Okay, we're done for today" signal, so your sleep becomes shallower, more fragmented, and honestly less satisfying, even if you technically got 8 hours. Quality matters more than quantity. And a phone next to your head is basically sabotaging quality every single night, like a tiny saboteur wearing a tiny disguise. There's also the simple, boring, but very real issue of sleep architecture. Your body cycles through different sleep stages: light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, and your brain needs uninterrupted time in each stage to actually recover, consolidate memories, and repair itself. Every notification, every flash of light, every little buzz has the potential to nudge you out of deeper stages back into lighter ones, even if you don't fully wake up and don't remember it happening. So you might sleep for 8 hours and still feel like you got hit by a truck because your sleep got interrupted at a cellular level without your permission. It's basically sleep sabotage happening in the background while you're blissfully unaware, like a horror movie except the villain is a smartphone and the weapon is notifications. Now, some people will say, I put my phone on airplane mode, or I use night mode, or I just don't get notifications at night. And sure, that helps. That's a smart move, genuinely. But even without notifications, the phone next to your head still emits that same radio frequency signal, periodically, as it stays connected to networks, still emits some level of heat, and still exists as a psychological magnet pulling your attention the second you open your eyes at 3 a.m., for absolutely no reason. The temptation is right there, glowing, waiting, like a tiny digital anglerfish lure dangling next to your pillow. So what's the actual solution here? Because obviously nobody's suggesting you throw your phone into a lake at sunset. The simplest fix is distance. Charging your phone across the room, even just a few meters away, does several things at once. It removes the light temptation, because you'd have to physically get up to check it. It reduces radio frequency exposure right next to your head. It eliminates the fire risk of it being trapped under a pillow, and it forces you to actually get out of bed if you want to scroll, which, let's be honest, most groggy, half-asleep humans are far too lazy to do. You could also switch to a classic alarm clock. Revolutionary, I know. An actual physical device whose only job is waking you up without the temptation of an entire internet's worth of content built in. Some people even go full monk mode and put their phone in another room entirely, which sounds extreme until you realize you sleep better than you have in years and wake up without immediately absorbing bad news, arguments, and 100 notifications before your eyes are even fully open. At the end of the day, your phone is an incredible tool, genuinely one of the most powerful pieces of technology in human history, but it was never designed to be your nighttime cuddle buddy. It's a tiny glowing box of radio frequency signals, heat-generating batteries, dopamine traps, and stress-triggering notifications. And none of those things belong 6 inches from your skull for 8 hours a night. So tonight, do yourself a favor. Move that thing across the room, grab an old-school alarm clock, and let your brain finally have the quiet, dark, uninterrupted environment it's been begging for since the invention of the smartphone.